All right, we should be live. Got a bit of a hoarse throat today. Don't know why. The weather's been all right, but anyway, was going to start this earlier today, but I saw on Instagram that my bud Paulo Rivera was going to be streaming live at 10 o'clock Pacific, which was 1 my time, and figured I would watch him and then get on to mine and just see how far I can go on this Black Panther. This is a full figure 9 by 12 piece that I'm going to ink and probably do a little bit of color, be limited to like a blue and a purple, tone him a bit. And it's for a friend of mine, for his son. So I think what I'm going to do is not go for the brush right yet, but do a little pen work to get my hand warmed up. That's the thing I didn't do, was take time to warm my hand. So usually in a case like that, I start with some pen work first before I bring out the brush. So this is not going to be the full like movie costume. It's kind of going to be a hybrid between what Brian Stelfreeze created for the relaunch of the comic. Maybe a little Jack Kirby, and yes, a little bit of the movie. Tell you what, doing that movie suit is a bear. Well, it's actually a cat, but bad pun coming in. Already came in, rather, and delivered. Hey, GLHG, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could pop in. Just warming my hand up right now before I go to a brush on this. It's going to be a lot of black, but except the contour lines here, but all this will be filled in black. So I don't have to be so precise in there, but I just like I like my hand to be warmed up before I get it on a brush. Well, it was an okay Christmas. My son had a really good Christmas, and that's the more important thing to me. So He enjoyed himself. Not that mine was horrible. I think, as you well know, when you have kids, it's more about what we can do for them. I actually wound up eating too much, and it's really I on the I woke up the morning of the 26th. Hold on one second there. Uh, AG, how you doing? I don't know how far I'll go on this. I just figured that I would get it started. So I want to thank those of you who dropped in the room. I just got done watching Paulo Rivera do a little bit of watercolor work. Don't know if y'all caught that or not. Um, but he's a very talented, very nice guy from the same area here that I'm from. We graduated from the same high school, but he's a little younger than me. And it's interesting because currently I think he is the cover artist on Black Panther, and that's just who I happen to be doing. Just warming up my hand before I hit a brush with a little bit of pen work. Had a couple of coffees today and got to get that little coffee shake out. So I got control of, so I got a little better control of it. Hopefully, I put a little mark here on my table, so I might, since this isn't one of the daily draws that I do ink wash on, although this will get some purple and blue color going on. That'll come later though after the inking. It's 9 by 12 full figure. And normally I like, when I do my full figures, I kind of like to crop them off the page a bit, but I'm just playing it safe on this one. I had a, here, I'll show you. This was a sketch idea, very rough, where he would be like, this is an 8.5 by 11, just copy paper that I sketch on and work out ideas. This, if I would have used it, he would have been like running, this leg would have went off and he would have been like either running into the page or running off the page, however you feel to look at it. But like I said, I kind of wanted to be safe and put the whole figure on this one. I don't know. I don't know how some people feel about if you offer them a full figure commission and the figure's kind of in a good way. In a good way, boy, my voice is letting me down here. In a good way, it's cropped. I hope that's my air conditioner coming on because I could use it today. Yeah, it is. But in a good way, cropped off the page. So, a couple things. You get a little bit bigger main figure. And you get to design a little differently when you crop things. Sometimes it's not the best idea, but sometimes it works out really good. Green Lantern, when I worked on Captain America, the first 2.5 years, starting, I did some covers beforehand. I think my first cover was 262. My first interior was 265. Maybe I did the cover to 261 too. I'm not 100% sure, but it was Mike Zeck. And we did about 2.5 years on Captain America. Continue to do covers afterwards, while we were working on Secret Wars. And then in the I think it was the 90s or somewhere late 80s, I worked again, maybe 5 or 6 issues with Paul Neary. You put those phones down? Yeah. That seems to be the way it goes, right? I have to admit I'm a little bit guilty of that myself, but I try. I am trying to get better at when I'm at dinner or something like that. I try not to pay attention to it, but problem is you never know when an emergency text or email or something's going to come in. So I feel your pain. And then I never know if Jared's going to send me a text crying about something and I'm going to have to, you know, talk him down. Surely I jest there, though. Just like to have those little opportunities to needle Jared. See if he's paying attention. See if he watches this and it gets back to him. That's right, GL. See if it gets back. I would like to think that Jared would watch my stream while he's working. In the long, lonely night. That he would have it on as some background noise and some inspiration. But maybe not. Don't know. But if so, then that was just a shout out to him. The best thing, GL, and I think you may have, you maybe caught it on Twitter, was when he had talked about reading a series called Squadron Supreme in the, I don't know, 2006 or something, and I didn't even know they had another series myself. But he said, "Oh, they did one in the 80s," and he had issue 4. Well, I had inked up to issue 3 before Punisher pages came in for me to ink. And I had to get on to him about that for not knowing that, me being his favorite inker, that he didn't research before he posted. So that was fun. I got to blindside him. Zablo. Yes, it is. Mr. Zablo, would you like me to send you an invite to behind the door? Hey, thanks, AG. I appreciate you watching that. I hope you gave it a thumbs up there. I'm sure Zablo appreciates you watching that too. It was a little slow. You know, I didn't go back over and do a voiceover. But well, hold on there, Mr. Z. Let me get I'm gonna have to get my headset on, which is fine. Um, and I'll send you the linker. The linky dinky do. What, do you want in or not? I'll await your answer. It'll be a yay or a nay. Can't see that. This or that. Okay, 4-bit. All right. I will pre-pin myself. I will pre-pin myself so when you come in the room, uh, hold on while I plug this in. Let's make sure my headset is okay. Now I see green lights in here, so that must mean that it's copacetic. Copacetic. I'm talking like you, Zablo. Let's see. There it is. Let me get this link. And let me entertain you. Okay. Link, and there you go. Incoming to your Gmail, sir. All right. I'm going to pin myself. Going to pin myself. That doesn't sound good, does it? Sounds painful. Now, what I've been watching as I work have been these marathon YouTube Jim Lee doing like a cover and interior pages that go for 6 hours. It's pretty fun. I'm not sure. It's one of those things where when it's recorded, I don't know. I think I could watch him. I think I could watch him live. Although he's on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast, and I do get up at 4 a.m., but I usually don't get down here to 5:30ish, so that could be a bit problematic. Whenever he gets back to his streaming, though, you know, I could at least get the last hour of one of his live Twitch streams in. But anyway. I think I'm about ready to take the brush out. Just get some of that little stuff out of the way. And there's Craig Zablo. Craig, I cannot hear you. If you are speaking. You can't find your headset? How can you lose a headset? Nope. I have the one I was talking to you on my phone earlier and the one over here by my drawing board. Can you use your computer's microphone? I don't know if that would give us the endless echo or not. No? Well, yeah. Listen to Green Lantern HG. Hey, Dr. Kaz. How you doing? Zablo, I brought him in the back door, so to speak, and he doesn't have his headset. So I don't know what to think. Don't know what to think. Don't know what to do. Mr. Zablo, what's wrong with you? I think just for fun. And to confuse everyone. Well, not to confuse everyone really, but just to solidify it up. Yeah, happy Friday. I was trying to get a Friday like starting around this time or maybe 5 o'clock stream going for a few hours, but again, we're having that holiday problem with people um, not being able to really participate. Or if they could, it would be like, oh, well, Jared has some more of his Air Force buddies coming over. So he said he could come on, but it would be for about, I don't know, short period of time. Craig said he could come on for a little bit of time right now, and then he tells me he doesn't have his headset. So he could have just stayed in the chat room. Zablo, should I just should you just disconnect and I can take my headset off then? Oh, there, he's gone. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say that's not helping me because I still have to read the chat. Okay. Gonna take my headset off, so there we go. No use no use wearing it if I don't have to. Oh no, he lost it. He asked me a week ago about it, I think, or earlier this week. I thought maybe he had found it. But alas, no. How does a grown man of 60 years old, well, maybe that explains it. The 60. That's how he loses a headset. Maybe it's all in that Stallone reference you have. Now, I'll show you. I did send out an email to a bunch of people whose emails I had today, or not today, this week, about the 9x12 full figure that I'm working on now. Special discounted price for my YouTube subscribers. This is a full figure on 9x12. However, going forward, I showed GL earlier. This was my initial idea sketch. This is on a 8.5 by 11. What I like about this is this leg would go off the page. Some of these fingers, it would go this way, portrait as they call it, instead of landscape. This is just my rough when I'm trying to feel out an idea for a pose and stuff. Now, the reason I didn't continue on with this is because I'm not sure if some people like creative cropping, or if some people would prefer literally the whole figure when I offer a full figure. This is something that has kind of been played out in the community of original art collectors. Some people, when they get something that's cropped, they will gripe that they paid for a full figure and they got maybe not a full figure. And technically, I think they are right. But on the other hand, I think if the piece is drawn in a way that it's meant to be cropped the way I showed you, then I think it's a lot more dramatic. So what I decided to do was go ahead and make this piece a true full figure. This is for a friend of mine's son. And I believe he would have understood the crop piece, but I'm just being extra safe. However, if anybody approaches me to do a piece, then I will discuss that, like layout, design, cropping, or not cropping. So I gotta say, I do miss the daily live draws quite a bit. That had become real fun for me to do. So we'll be getting back on those after the first week of the new year. And for those interested and have forgotten, or for whatever reason, December 31st is the cutoff for a requested piece on the daily live draws for $40. December 31st, that's Monday. So if you're thinking about it, let me know. And I am going to drop, for those of you who didn't get it, give me just a second here. I'm going to fill in the blacks around here real quick, around his head. And then I'm going to drop the password protected page link into the chat room along with the password, so that if you are watching this and you're subscribed to my channel, you can pick up a lesser priced commission piece during this relatively slow time of mine. I say that because it is holiday time, and holidays always mean other busyness things, not so much work, but all right, almost ready to. But before I open up the commission list to the general public and a comic art list, I just wanted to make sure that my YouTube family of subscribers had a first crack at a discounted price. So let me do that now. And I will probably stream again sometime this weekend. And I will do it again then. I got to make sure I got the right page. Creative cropping is, I like it. I got no problem with it. Let's see. I believe this is the page. Okay. This is indeed it. Got to pull my chat back up. All right. Yes, you're exactly right, Dr. Kaz. I say full figure because you're going to get a full page and most of the figure. Might be missing an elbow that comes back on the page, or, you know, the one leg might be going off, and but it fills the page out more to me. So anyway, this is the page where you can find the offer, and this is the password. To read the details for those of you who might be interested. And this one will still turn out nice. I can. There's an extra charge for likenesses. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Okay, I need this window up, and that brought the chat back up too. Perfect. Either way, Mr. Zablo, either way. In fact, I believe that Mr. J. Rod himself would like to handle that commission. It is Friday. I hear the vacuum cleaner lady down the hall. Ah, I should have sent that, and I guess I will later. I meant to send that to Mike Cross. I forgot all about him. How could I forget Mr. Cross? I will have to rectify that immediately. Or sometime today or tomorrow. He would keep her, or he would try. The daily draw is $40 for your request, not just something that I draw, but if you want to request a character, which a lot of people have begun to do. Although on the Spider-Verse, I just basically did those because I wanted to, and those sold through. But um, my offer was 20% off the normal $50. So back to 40 until January 31st. And beginning the new year, my daily live drawings, because I have begun to put so much extra work into them, will at least be $60. And I might have to rethink some of those. The ones that I put color into and stuff, they might be a bit more. But if you act now and prepay $40 will get you in the door. Ron has bought a week, and I'm not sure if I'm going to start when I get back with his week or start a fresh week without his subject. He's gave me the green light to do whatever I want to on it. So he's got a nice week coming up. But I would really like to have them all drawn out before I start the finishing. So really, that's it. I mean, I quit announcing it because I had announced it enough, and I don't want to be a broken record every morning. But I thought I would announce it again today. Because the end is near. And because I have another sale going on for full figure 9x12s. So I can sign you up for a week of Sylvester Stallone's, right, Mr. Zablo? We could do all Rocky 5 movies. All 5 of them. That would make a week. See how that works? That's right. Hey, Ron. Yes, I mean December 31st. That's exactly what I mean. Monday. Sure, Rocky Balboa. That's the 5th movie. There you go. Isn't it? Rocky 1, 2, 3, 10, 12. Rocky Balboa. Rocky Balboa is the sixth? Adrian's Revenge. Am I let's see, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3 was Mr. T, Rocky 4 was Drago, and Rocky Balboa would be the fifth one. Polly's Night Out. You silly kids, Trebek. Oh yeah, Tommy Machine Gun. Man, you know what? That movie was so unforgettable. I forgot it. Wow. Wow. Wow, Trebek. Wow. Wow. I'm blown away. Wow. I mean, wow. Hey, you still have the layout for that painting, don't you, Mr. Zablo? You know, that could have been a really, really good movie. Well, it was a good 20-minute short movie, the beginning. After that, after that, trash. You know it. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. First 20 minutes, there was a new franchise working. New franchise. Sequels galore. And then it became a ride in the back of a truck shooting motorcycle riders like ducks in a pond. Wow, I totally forgot about Tommy Gunn. I had to have seen it because Craig made me go to every Stallone movie with him. Every Rocky Balboa movie I had to go to. I had to be the counterbalance. I had to be it's not the best movie ever made. No, it's not the second best movie ever made. Now, I do give Rocky 1 a lot of credit. That's a great movie. Rocky 2 had its moments. And because it was the time period, the other ones at the time didn't seem that bad. But time does not serve them well. Time does not serve them well. Now, I don't even have to look at the chat, and I'm not yet, because I know there's a dissenter out there. If not more than one, maybe. But that's okay. I like that, GL. Hey, so Mr. Zablo, um, what is the order of your favorite Sylvester Stallone Rocky movies? Not, I want to narrow it down to Rocky since there's six. I know one is the first one. That's if it's not, I'll be surprised. Don't count the Creed movies in yet. I want to see where those would come into your list. And don't make a list knowing how you're going to change it. Be honest. Now I'm going to take a look at the chat and see if we got that done yet. Let's see. Rocky 3, Rocky Balboa. Whoa. Okay, okay, yeah. I heard Rocky Balboa was good. I haven't seen it. Rocky 2, 4, and 5. Rocky 3 was Mr. T, right? Yes, sir, sir. Okay. And then add Creed 1 and 2 into your list and let's see what changes. I'm pretty sure Rocky 3 and Rocky Balboa will stay the same, although maybe not. Perhaps nay. Rocky 1, 2, 4, Creed and Creed 2 would join top level. So that means it would be Rocky 1 and Creed 2, right? Or at least that's what I'm thinking. But you can't rank them though. You're just saying they're as good as the original. And I find that kind of mind blowing. I'm gonna have to see these beauties. I've heard they're good now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not messing with you. I have heard from not just you, but from other people. People I respect, Trebek. Actually, people that I know aren't as big as Sylvester Stallone fans as you. That's the real. That's the real test. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. But what is okay, what is the worst Stallone movie ever? This has become a Stallone stream. Stop or my mom will shoot. Spy Kids 3D. Now, Ron, is it because it was 3D or was it just a bad movie? Or both? Well, I didn't see those, but of the ones I saw, Over the Top was bad. That was the worst for me. Come on, Ron. Lincoln Hawk. Lincoln Hawk, sir. Okay, I'm gonna give Jared a quick call and see if he would like to join. Turn that hat backwards and go to work. It was about that rich kid's or that kid's rich granddaddy or something. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad all around. Let me see if I can get Jared on the phone here. See if he wants to come on and chicken scratch for a while. We'll just dial him right up. Jared, I'm live and have been live for a while. Would you like to come on? All right, I'm gonna shoot you the link. I gave it to Zablo, and he don't have his headset, so it really did no good. He's in the chat room. Well, I didn't either. I mean, I kind of started, and I'm just gonna finish this Black Panther I'm working on.
All right. Yeah, just give me a minute here. I'll finish mixing up this marinade, and I'll be on in a minute.
Some marinade? What are you doing, man?
Vaginas.
All right. Well, I'm gonna shoot you the link so you can come in.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Yes, sir. Jared will be joining the festivities. He is currently he is mixing up some marinade, or so he says. Oh, mixing up some marinade. Do with that as you want. Okay. Headphones back in. Should be all right. Let me see if I can't get Jared the link here. There. There. Let's see. I just got an email from yes, it could almost be cropped that way, Mr. Zablo. You are absolutely right. Okay. Back to the chat. Well, why don't you get a painting instead of just a cheap little drawing? Why don't you dig a little deeper and help old Mr. Beatty out and get you that painting while it's at a discounted price. I mean, I already did a Wick and Carter free. Boy, talk about a real deal. That's 1, 2, 3 or 4 Black Stallone Fridays, right? Duke, 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 Duke of Earl. I'm gonna pin myself so when Jared comes in, then we can ease him into the chat, so to speak. Jared didn't lose his headset. Didn't I do a Cobra sketch before, or was it just that rough marker layout? And that was in the 80s. That was during that Bill Sienkiewicz time, I believe. That may have been, was that around the time I did that Rocky painting, Mr. Zablo? Tribeck. Now, I can't pin anybody in the chat room. I could ban them and kick them out, but I can't pin them. I think that Cobra painting was after the Stallone one. No, I didn't start. No, I didn't start. I'm pretty sure I didn't start a painting. I did a layout, a marker comp. Trying to be all movie poster like and stuff. Wanting to be the next Drew Struzan. That ain't gonna happen. I don't remember starting it. I just remember getting to a comp. Let's see. Ah! I sent Jared the wrong link. I sent him the link to the private page for my YouTube subscribers. So that's too funny. I don't think I did. You'd have to show me some proof. All right. Getting to the real link with Jared. He even sent me a screenshot of it. That's funny. Well, not if you're Jared, but for me it was kind of humorous. I say. All right. The big hour of 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, straight up, people. East Coast time. We got 5 viewers on this Friday. Time to go home day. I know Ron has been a busy man this week. And there's Jared.
Ta-da!
Are you going to be drawing? I will unpin myself. Let's see if they can hear you first. Give them a test 1, 2, 3, Jared.
Test 1, 2, 3.
We got good old Green Lantern HG in here.
What up, GLHG?
Mr. Zablo's here. Ron was here. Dr. Kaz was here. I don't know if he still is. There's Ron. Yes, they hear your manly voice.
All right. What up, Dr. Kaz and Ron? And
it's that new microphone. I got it.
Cool cats.
There we're watching you set up.
Yeah, I'm finding some stuff I might want to use today.
Like a plate?
Plates are never that far away. Ta-da! Oh, it's a good-looking T'Challa you got there.
Well, thank you, sir. That link I sent you before was a Privatio page for my YouTube subscribers, as you may have gathered.
Oh.
I forgot it was still on my clipboard when I cut and pasted in the email. I thought I still had the YouTube link that I sent to the headphone micless Craig Zablo.
So you finally found a way to improve the show. You silenced Craig.
Oh, get
I
ready
tease
for it.
Craig. I love you. You know that.
And he means he really loves you.
Yes.
Like, love.
Romantically interested, yes.
Yes. Like he wants to squeeze you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the song? Loving, touching.
Yep, that you got it. That's how I feel about Craig. I think it's mutual.
It is. He's got that same twinkle in his eye when he talks about you that when he talks about Stallone.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
So how's it been going, Jared?
Man, it's just been wild, and also wild.
Wild. The holidays, huh?
Yep. Every Christmas I come down with some kind of disease, and this year's no exception. I'm just finishing up a nasty little cold that struck right on Christmas Day. Last year it was the flu. The year before that, I threw my back out. The year before that, it was the flu. Me and Christmas, man, we have a hard time getting along sometimes.
The Grinch is after you.
I believe that to be true.
Or something.
It's something. That much I do know.
But you're not back at work.
No, I'm not back at work. I went in earlier this morning, but now I'm home.
So for you, it's better if the holidays fall on that Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah. I like it that way.
But it's also good if they fall on that Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, anytime in the middle of the week is fine with me. Anytime in the middle of the week is fine with me.
Hey, look at that. Ron says he thinks that they're going yard sale hunting Sunday.
I like where your head's at, Ron. It's the right thing to do.
You know, Ron, my template was, I needed a bigger template, and if I had a plate,
I got one.
VR is only so good for certain things, right? And I couldn't do the radar around Daredevil, so I just I forget who it was, but the consensus, I think I've mentioned it, and then people were like, yeah, rain's good. I think Dr. Kaz mentioned it, some rain like I did around that Batman would work, so I wound up doing the rain.
I saw you and Daredevil walking in the rain. That song will get stuck in your head. You'll be singing it later today. So how long you been streaming? How late am I? What's going on?
About an hour. No, 2:30.
You should let me know, man.
Well, I wasn't sure how long I was going to go, and then I was like, once I get the outlining and stuff done, this is a lot of blacks to fill in. I may as well just get the blacks filled in. So like I said, I wasn't sure, because I know, I sent a text out and everyone was kind of, again, a little bit, nobody could commit to like a longer session. So I was feeling like, well, I'll do something today. Ron, that's one thing I have never, I never get the flu shot, and I know I've had the flu maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but no more than that. It's kind of like playing roulette in a way, although you don't have the what? What part don't you have? That's a bad analogy.
I don't know, roulette wheel?
I guess. You take your chances, but you get that strain that's not in the shot and you get it anyway, right? I guess.
I would know. I get the shot every year, and then twice now it's been flu.
Well,
this year it was just cold, so I guess it's an improvement.
That's why you get it. It gives you the virus, right?
It does. A weakened strain.
But you feel it. My mom's 91 and she's never got one.
Do, 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 do.
I saw you and him.
It's a head sticker, man.
Now wait, you got to do that. I saw you
And him.
and him walking in the rain. Yeah, give me back that jacket.
I was gonna run up on you like Rambo, but then I chilled.
Yeah, and those diamonds? Yeah, that's mine too.
I'm gonna take all that back to the store, babe.
That's right. And all those credit cards. I done cut them up. Took your name off all the bank accounts. Who did that song?
Orange Juice Jones.
Man, there's a one-hit wonder, right?
Pretty much.
I was almost about to say, was that a follow-up to Rockwell's
It
I
always
always
feels
feels like.
but it's watching me.
You know the best part of that song?
Michael Jackson.
That's right. Singing those backups. How distinctive is that voice, right?
Indeed, indeed. Man.
What are you going to draw? Oh, you're drawing something already, Jarhead.
I don't mess around. I banged my hand earlier today, so it's a little jittery today. But whatever, gotta work it out, right?
Well, I had a couple of 24-ounce Wawa coffees. One in the morning, one around lunchtime, and so when I first started this stream, I took a pen to kind of, before I went right in for a brush. Even though with Black Panther and this much black, I can afford to be not so. Well, you notice I'm doing lines that are going to get black, most of them filled in first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The contour lines that will show I'm waiting for my line to really be there, which it's I think it's about there. I saw you.
It's a head sticker.
And they blow. Walking in the rain. You were watching Rocky Stallone. And I'll never be the same. Rocky Stallone. Where did you hear that, Jared?
Hear what?
The song that you can't get out of your head.
Oh, we were recently singing it on one of our podcasts.
Oh, Pat had the eggnog, huh?
Usually does that, Patrick.
I only noticed that last time that he was a little
There's an interesting end to that sentence coming. I just know.
I'm thinking of that. A little toasty, a little seasonal.
It's funny that Pat always kind of seems that way, even though he's not drinking. He just always seems like he has it.
Yeah. He seemed a little seasonal to me. Seemed like he had a little eggnog. The adult eggnog, of course.
Hmm.
I never knew about that until I was probably in my 30s. And we were at a party and someone asked me if I wanted some eggnog, and I was like, well, I just want a little bit because it's strong, just it's strong just right out of the
Mm-hmm.
right out of the carton or the I was going to say the bottle, but it's not really in a bottle. The jug. And they said, "Oh well, okay, we'll give you a little bit." And I tasted it, and I was like, "Wow, that's got a little zip to it." So I asked the party host, "What's in here?" And they said, "Eggnog and rum." And I was like, "What?" I never knew to spike the eggnog with rum. I guess you could spike it with other things too. I mean, I don't know.
I'm certain you can, but I've only really had the non-alcoholic myself. I had the alcoholic maybe once or twice. Somebody made us a little batch for Christmas this year. I had a little sip of that, but yeah.
I'll tell you, that's one of those drinks that a little goes a far way, a long way.
I'll tell you what I did that was alcoholic this year that was fun.
That was alcoholic, or
yes, it was alcoholic and it was fun.
So it didn't contain alcohol.
It did. I made rummy bears, which is where you take the gummy bears, you put them in a bowl, and you pour. We had some Cuban rum from when Johanna went to Cuba, and you just let it soak in the fridge for about 24 hours, and they soak up all the rum. They get all fat, and then you eat the gummy bears, and they're filled with rum.
Uh-huh.
Pretty good.
And how many of those did you have?
Oh, I went light on them.
50?
75.
Okay. And you sent the rest to Pat.
Mm-hmm. I think he just came and got him. What's up, Jay Bird? You want to say hi to John?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, say hi to John. Say wave to John. Wave to the camera. Wave up to the camera. Look at the camera and wave. There he is. All right.
Hi.
John says hi.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Good. Are you drawing Black Panther?
I am.
Yeah. He's got it down, man.
He does.
I'm raising this kid right. Who was the guy that was on last time we were doing the live stream who figured out what I was drawing in 0.8 seconds?
Mike Cross.
Mike Cross, that's right. I remember now.
You put down 2 lines.
Yep. And he was like, "Is that Blue Falcon?" It's like, man, that is one obscure character to be nailed so quickly.
GLHG says, I call it the Pat Charm.
That's what we all call it, GL.
See, Ron knows. Blue Falcon. Ask Mike Cross.
There you go.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And we asked him, he was in on one of the mornings, and I said, what gave it away? And he said the beak.
Well, that makes me happy.
Are you finished yet?
I'm not finished yet. Kids ride me like I got a deadline for him or something.
Van Plexico's been calling him saying, if you can get your dad to finish faster.
Hey, I am all caught up on Cold Lightning. 1 and 2 have been inked. I have not been sent the pencils for 3 yet, so I am good to go in the eyes of Van Plexico.
What about the other 3 books?
Well, let's just take our victories where we find them.
Hey, I was going to talk to you about your inking off the air.
Oh, boy.
No, it's nothing bad. In fact, I found a loophole for you.
Oh, I do love me a good loophole.
Ron knows what it is. I told him. And it actually it works.
I do love a good loophole, so I am excited. They call me Loophole Jared. Okay, nobody calls me that.
Well, actually,
Oh, surprise episode today. I feel like I'm on a Maury Povich.
yeah. Actually, Jared, we have somebody.
We have something to share with you today. Oh, no. Oh, hell no, John. Oh, hell no. It's a very special episode.
Your kid's going to come back in and ask if it's done yet.
He probably will.
I think he's talking to me though, right?
When he asked, he was talking to me because he just poked his head and he couldn't see the screen. He was talking to me. Maybe he was talking. I don't know.
Oh, I thought he was asking if the Black Panther piece was finished yet.
Maybe he was. Somebody should pay attention to that kid.
That's what the wife's for.
Uh-oh. John's going to get in trouble.
Huh?
John's going to get in trouble.
Well, I mean, Daddy's busy. One parent has to shut up, right? I should just shut up now. Is that?
Just do what you got to do.
I think I'll just shut up now.
I have no comments. I'm gonna let you run free on this one.
I know. I'm backing out. I'm backing out of it. That's why I said I'm stopping right there. I need to learn to do that more often at my own house. I need to learn to be a quiet man. But you know me, Jared.
I do. I do.
I don't say anything maliciously, though.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I don't. I'm just a. You know I don't.
I know your heart.
Well, you're one of the people.
You're cold, dark, twisted. I'm just kidding. I know. John's a good person, everyone. Hello, Jay. You checking in on that Black Panther?
I thought you were done.
That's John drawing the Black Panther.
I thought he was done drawing.
Kid's got questions for you.
What are you drawing?
I'm drawing Cloak and Dagger.
Two. You know, I liked Cloak and Dagger.
Me too. I just read an issue the other day and I got reminded about how much I liked them. That's why I decided I was going to draw them next.
And did you do your research on it?
No. I did not. I feel like I'm in for another big world-changing surprise today.
Like a tweet?
Yeah. So, are you trying to tell me you did some Cloak and Dagger work?
No, what would make you think that?
I don't know. I've stepped into this trap so many times.
It wasn't a trap. You set the trap. Did you not set that trap?
I suppose I probably did. I probably have no one but myself to blame.
You know, had the book been so interesting, you could have said, you know, I'm going to Google this and see like what the rest is.
Look, man, I got it out of a grab bag and I just finished reading it and I was like, that's really cool.
And then you could have looked like a genius.
Well, you know, I already am a genius and I don't want to brag because I'm humble. It's one of my best character traits.
Oh, is that what you call it? It's almost the new year.
Oh, man. How do we do it?
Do what? Continue on?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Oh, someone's climbing up the back of my chair. I can feel it. Who's climbing on my chair?
Yes, I am familiar with Mark Texeira's work back in the 90s. Yes, he did a lot of work for Marvel.
Ghost Rider comes to mind immediately.
Right. And I think Wolverine.
And Black Panther. He did like the... what are you climbing on? I got a monkey climbing on me. I think there's a monkey in my studio.
I think I know what you're saying. GL, GH, or HG, GL, GLGH. I think it depends on the artist. They bring their own voice to a comic, whether they draw more cartoony or more realistic or however. And it's up to the editor to hire the person that they feel is suited for a job, but I don't think that comes into play much anymore. I mean, it does, but not as much as it used to, if that makes sense. Most of the time, I'll tell you, for me, when I would get an assignment, I would 90%, if not more, have to, number one, like the assignment to take it. Now, there were a few times I got thrown stuff that I didn't want to do, but I was kind of, there was no way out, let's say. And this is as an inker, so it's a little bit different, I guess, as a penciler, but I was promised one thing and delivered another, and I did my professional best to deliver a professional job on said pencils, even if I was not a fan. Did we lose Jared? Because I don't hear.
No, I muted because my son decided to sing every Christmas carol he knew while you were trying to talk to people.
Oh. So yeah, I just think, sometimes sometimes an artist or a writer really meshes on a title, and sometimes they don't. But I think a lot of that has to do with doing characters and being able to work on characters you actually have a liking for, and not just, you're making a paycheck. Because if you really don't like it, you're not going to put 100% into it. So I had a few instances, like I said, where I kind of got thrown into something I didn't particularly care for. I tried to do the best I could, and sometimes it didn't work out, and I would hear things that didn't particularly make me happy when I voiced that concern going in. So especially when you voice a concern, when you're thrown something and you talk to your editor and you tell them, I don't feel, this is a good match for me, or I don't feel that I can do what you want, can you give me something else instead? And they're like, well, we really need you to do this, and it's going to be fine. Here's what we want, blah, 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 blah. And then somewhere down the road, you hear different. That's when the fun, that's when the love is gone. So yeah, definitely there are those times where I think an artist has an affinity for a character and they develop a touch. Maybe they didn't have it to start with, but as they worked on the character, they developed an affinity for the character and began to care for the character. I talk as though they're real people because you do have to have that certain. Well, I do. Jared doesn't. You have to have that certain care about the character that you're working on or characters, or you're probably not going to do your best work. And sometimes it shows, and sometimes you can camouflage it. I hope that kind of answers your question. Let's see. Well, I guess he's still waiting for me to finish. I am done.
You finished?
I'm finished.
Like, are you talking about with the drawing or like with life?
Yeah. The daily double on that.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
We'll split it in half and call it a day. I could actually. I think I realize more what he's asking. Let me read. What should a comic be like? Drawn more realistic or more art? Okay, I digested that a little bit during my answer, and I think I have a better answer for you. And this is going to be something that, I've heard him say in interviews. He's told me, so it's not like I'm gossiping out of school. But Jared, not Jared. I just like to throw that in there.
I was really worried about what the end of that sentence was going to be.
No. When Kelly Jones took on the Dead Man series in Action Comics, it was one of those things where he didn't feel like, well, number one, he knew he was following Neil Adams as far as the look of the character that Neil had established. Neil had established Deadman as one of his, Batman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Deadman, everything Neil touched at DC, he kind of put his mark on and made it his. So Deadman was another one of those characters that, he really did a, wonderful job on the art. And so Kelly knew he was not going to compete with Neil on that level. But what he did realize was he could bring something to the table that Neil didn't. And that was the style of what if Deadman literally looked like a dead man instead of a muscular superhero. And so he told me that he approached it the way he wanted to. For the first time, he just decided that they would never hire him again based on Deadman. And so he figured, I may as well draw it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to do Neil Adams. I'm just going to draw Deadman the way I want to do him. So Kelly literally went out on a limb and did his wonky dead man style, and lo and behold, it was a huge success. That's Kelly and I were going to work before, but when I saw that, it, you know, it made me remember the Hangman stuff that we had done for Archie Comics back in the 80s that got canceled. And I went in and asked Barbara Kiesel, who was the editor at the time, uh, if I could ink it. And she said, oh, it's, you know, it's only a 6-part thing. And Tony DiZuniga was already, you know, he was doing it. And I said, well, if it comes up again, I'd, you know, if you're interested and Kelly's interested, I'd love to ink it. And what wound up happening was he went and did 2 prestige format books based on what he brought to Dead Man that was not Neil Adams. So there's your really 2 different artists. Neil, very realistic in his approach, and Kelly, very stylized and artistic in his approach, both bringing something to the character that the other couldn't. And it worked out really good for Kelly. And it worked out fine for Neil, too.
You know, I'd never heard of Dead Man until the Kelly books.
Well, yeah, but you're in that group of, aren't you in that age where you started reading kind of late?
I started reading in like really reading hard in like about the mid 80s. And I don't think they were doing a ton with Dead Man.
No, they weren't.
And then,
They may have done the Garcia Lopez, which he was pretty much doing Garcia Lopez, which is beautifully drawn, but it didn't have the stylish, you know, the stylish look of what Kelly Jones had done. So, yeah, so there's a perfect example of various styles working on the same character. As long as you bring a passion to that character, I think it can be done both ways. But having said that, I also think that the fans have to, you know, if it would have been crickets, then Kelly would have been like, you know, and no pun intended, it would have been like, why did you kill Dead Man? You know? Well, kind of a pun there.
I approve of it. I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse, but
That's fine. Okay, Craig. Tell Big Don I said hello. And find those headphones. They must be in one of your bags or something. They are not here that I can see unless you left them somewhere in a crevice or something. Which, if you've seen my office, could definitely happen. Which I am gonna.
I'm almost afraid to ask. I am afraid to ask. Never mind.
Ask what?
You sound like you were chatting with Craig, and then you started laughing, and that's always dangerous.
Oh, we laugh about the stupidest stuff. Let's see. I'm just actually sending him a quick text. All right. Now, Jared, are you okay with the big crowd of 5 people we got here? You got them under control? Because
I don't know if I can handle that.
all right, because I'm gonna pin you while I run down to the hallway.
Always pinning me, folks.
Hold on, Jared. This might hurt a bit.
Ah!
There you go. Perfect. Perfect timing. And I will be right back as soon as I. Well, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Test. Can you hear me? You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Now, how come when I push this mute button, it doesn't mute me? That's odd. It did before.
So
Usually,
it's a do nothing button then.
well, no. When I'm alone, it mutes me. I just like to mute it when I leave so that you don't hear if I trip over something. What was that?
I was just tuning into the channel so that I could maybe glance at the chat.
Oh, okay.
And I turned my volume down.
All right. Well, I muted this again, but it don't seem to work. So I'm just going to hang the headphones on the stand and go.
Well, all right.
I will be back in like a flash.
Is he gone? Don't you worry, GLHG. I'll get us through this together. Hey, it's like you got no faith in me, man. Have I ever given you reason to never mind. Never mind. So, what's up, folks in the chat? I don't want John to think I didn't do anything while he was gone. So now I can tell him I asked you guys what was up. Well, I've got my chat screen up. I hope it's loading properly. So if you do have any questions, if you want me to tell stories about John, anything like that, you just let me know. I didn't hear opinion. Is that GL? You talking about that question you asked John about the realistic versus cartoon styles? I believe that's what you're asking. Okay. So yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I really think at the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference. But I do think that certain things play better in certain styles. You know, obviously, I mean, think about a character like, I don't know, Swamp Thing. Okay, well, Swamp Thing's not real, so you want maybe a more stylized take on that. And maybe you want your, maybe G.I. Joe a little more realistic because it's a grounded military book. So, I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer. I agree with John as long as someone's passion fits the project. But for me personally, I think if it's something that's more real, like a military or a Western or something like that, I like the art to push more in that direction. If it's more fantastical, like Dead Man or Swamp Thing or Man Thing or something like that, then I like the art to get a little more of the artist in it. That's just me personally. Right now, I'm doing a cartoony style of Cloak and Dagger. I like doing cartoony style on the live streams because they're a little simpler. I do realistic drawings, but the realistic drawings take me, 4 to 6 hours, where I can do one of these cartoony ones in an hour or two on the stream. So for me personally, I I'm kind of an art chameleon. I can flow to different styles. My actual own style is actually fairly cartoony. My personal unique style. But getting back to the answer, fantastical books give me fantastical style. More grounded books like westerns and militaries give me realism. And that's just me, though. Everyone's got a different opinion. So, that's the wonderful thing about art. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you like.
I will agree with that, except I do have one thing that you'll say, well, you're right about that. You ready?
I like your confidence.
Oh, I already know you're going to go, yes, that is.
I'm eager to give you that yes now.
Michael Golden on the knob. No better choice, was there?
You're right.
The characters had character. The weapons were correct.
Yeah, that's one of those weird exceptions where
that's why I said,
I would like my nom to be a little more realistic, but when I see Michael Golden's work on it, it does play really well. He might have had a good inker though. That makes all the difference.
Well, it was there. Believe me. I mean, he drew that stuff like there was nobody's business, and I mean, he and this is like one of those things, where you get into characters. He drew ethnic people like they're supposed to look, if that makes sense, without sounding bad.
No, I hear you.
I mean, everybody didn't have the same face, the same skull shape, the same features with a helmet on. They were all very distinctive. He just really, that to me is like those, especially like the first, he was only on it for 12 issues, I think, a year, but then he went to breakdowns. But his breakdowns that I was getting, if it's anything I could go back and re-ink, it would be that stuff, because I understand it, not to the level he does, but for me, I understand more of what he was giving me now.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like, I would like another shot at that, because I realize now what I didn't then. And, I feel like I could bring so much more to that work. So that's the only thing is, it's like he brought that cartooniness of his and yet extreme realism to a war book, and it worked.
It did.
But I know what you mean. I kind of feel the same way that you do about that stuff. However, the Europeans, I think, have a little more sophisticated taste in a lot of stuff, because their drawing is different.
Sorry, I'll mute so you can finish that thought.
You have a great editor. Van Plexico needs to hire him.
He does.
Like $1 a day. $1 a day. Just go in and keep asking your dad, is he done yet?
Are you done yet? Plexico's on the line. Anyway, you were saying, something.
No, I was just saying that the European people, I think, or the European books, albums, I think they can get away with more of a cartoony look for certain stuff, where I don't know. And I think it just might be it might be that they're more sophisticated in what they like than we are. Does that make sense at all? Because I think there's a larger adult readership.
Right.
I mean, even with and it's easy to make this argument too with the manga books that come out every week. that everybody reads on mass transit, like public transit in Japan. I mean, they sell a ton of that stuff. And it's not just the kids. It's the businessmen. It's the, uh, workers. Some of it is to school kids and stuff, but it's to everybody. Their demographic is much broader for comics than ours. And comics, sadly but true, is an American art form. And yet we seem to have, uh, a, we don't have this. We don't seem to have the same tolerance or the same appreciation for it that other countries do.
I would agree with that.
Because I think here it's looked down upon if at a certain age. Well, not so much these days, but when I was growing up, if you were like 15 or 16 and still reading comic books, you were a real dork. And
Yep.
I don't mean that in the good way that nerds are now cool.
Mm-hmm.
You were looked at as like, what is wrong with you? Those are for children. So that's it. I just see that big difference. I see that gap, and
I see what you're saying.
I really I really wish that I mean, especially with the success of the movies, I wish the comics would pick up. But they don't. You read about it all the time. Your local comic book store. Your, what is it? LCS, local comic shop store, going out of business. Because they can't make enough money.
Bad couple of years for comic book shops. I mean, even
Yeah.
around the ones that are succeeding are rarely pure comics anymore. Mostly gaming is carrying them.
Right. Yeah, a lot of them will have gaming like 3 nights a week to get people in.
Mine's got like gaming every night, a different game a night.
I believe it.
Yeah.
And I know this kind of, well, it surprised me because it was, I didn't see it coming, but I kind of did. Right next to, well, not right next to me, but a building down, that the store that had kind of the estate sale stuff, they're out of business now. When I came down here on the 26th, they were gone.
Downtowns, I don't know if you're officially downtown, but it sure does feel like a downtown.
Oh, I am officially downtown.
Downtowns, man, they are struggling in America in general.
Well, I'll tell you where they're not, and that's Denver. And Denver does it right. They have a stretch of downtown that they call the mall. And there's no traffic except for like the petty cars and stuff. It's blocked off to cars. So nobody can drive, you have to walk. And it's bustling. I mean, there's every restaurant has, well, I can't say every, but it seems like every restaurant. I would say 90% of the restaurants you can either eat inside or they have a nice sit outside, if the weather permits.
Mm-hmm.
And in Denver, of course, it is nice. But I know it can get hot there too. But in the evenings, the humidity goes down. Unlike here in Florida, we have to fight with the humidity. So they have this place called the mall, and it's this stretch of downtown. And like I said, it's blocked off. They have a Hard Rock Hotel there. Ron knows exactly where I'm talking about, because we discussed it. And it's a shame that where I'm at, a lot of the businesses, especially restaurants, close either after lunch or at around 6 o'clock. They're not open on Sunday or Monday. I think if you're going to be in the restaurant business, it's one of those things where you have to decide if, you really probably should be open 7 days a week. Now, there are exceptions, and I've seen that down here at a couple. One is a new restaurant, Rosie's. I think I took you there when I was eating those big sandwiches. Did we go to Rosie's? Where they bake their own bread and everything?
We went for breakfast. Is that where we were at?
Where they have, I told you it's the best breakfast sandwich you'll ever have? Or do you mean the one just recently?
The one recently.
No.
The one before was Rosie. I got you. Yep, I got you.
Rosie's, they everything. They make their own pastries. They bake their own bread. They make their own soup. It's an Italian place.
Right. I remember now.
But they're not open on Sunday or Monday. And they close up early, which is fine. I don't think they would do a big dinner crowd. I think I was going to say they're bread and butter for a nice pun for you, Jared. I think their bread and butter is
literal bread.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that too is breakfast and lunch. Amazing. It's I mean, I would rate it as one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. And I base that upon their bread is just fantastic for a sandwich. And they also, they cut the meat and the cheese.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. When you order, it's not just sitting there like at some fast food chains in a bin, pre-cut in little wrappers, so it's all weighed out and everything. When you order your sandwich, they get busy. Now the bread is pre-baked, but you know how bread is. It's good. Oh, you know how bread is, and I know how bread is, and I'll tell you,
bread.
I am a sandwich guy, so it's like, that place, when I went on my carbless diet, which I'm back on again, my simple carb diet. I'll tell you, when I broke it, that was one of the first places I went back to, and I had lost 55 pounds, and, they were happy for me and everything. And I said, I'm sorry, but I've just had to stay away.
Y'all are killing me, literally.
And they're like, well, we do salads and stuff. And I just said, I know you do, but I can't come in.
I can't come in here and order a salad.
They do their own pastry too. And I can kind of pass on that 99% of the time. But I look, there is that temptation. I lust with my eyes after their pastries because I've had a few and they're really good because it's all homemade, and the bread. Oh, you put.
Are they sponsoring this channel by any chance?
No.
Today's live stream is brought to you by Rosie's.
Rosie's, downtown Daytona Beach. If you like a good sandwich.
And who does?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I can eat a sandwich and be content the rest of my life. As long as it's good. I don't need to have steak in it. They can be cold cuts. As long as they're good cold cuts.
You got a favorite kind of sandwich?
Well, they have a thing called an American, which I would get down there, which is your basic, turkey, ham, roast beef, I think.
With
the lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, little mustard, either spicy or not, depending on how I felt.
I'm a plain mustard kind of guy.
Yeah?
I don't need the fancy stuff.
Well, I don't consider mayo to be fancy, but you might.
No, mustard.
I know, but I said I like the mayo mustard combination.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm all about the mixing of the mayo and the mustard.
Oh! You're saying your
I don't
mustard?
need that grape poupon or that spicy brown mustard. Nah.
No, I don't like the real spicy, but Grey Poupon is nice. I like that.
I'm a plain French's yellow mustard kind of guy.
I can do that too. Dijon mustard is really good. Come on now, you don't like a little Dijon every now and again?
Oh, plain yellow mustard.
Well, that works. If you're 10.
Ronald's not wrong, man. A pressed Cuban sandwich is hard to beat.
Oh, do they have a good pressed Cuban sandwich down there? They roast their own beef.
Oh, Lordy.
They do the same thing with a cheesesteak, too. They do their own steak, and they slice it, and it is to die for. Ron is right. Whatever.
He's correct.
He is. A pressed Cuban sandwich. Now, when I was in Orlando, I'd never had one before. And Jim Ivey brought him over to the house one day and gave me this flat sandwich. And
he said, "Would you sit on this?"
Yeah. And it was warm. I said, "Jim, has this been between your butt cheeks?"
No.
And so once Jim gave me that sandwich, I swear I went there for like the next week straight every day, at least, or maybe 2 weeks. I was going there for a sandwich. And I think the only reason I missed a day and then got on the day I missed and got on something else was I was out of town or I wasn't there or something. And, but I will tell you this, I'm glad Ron is still hanging on. Last time he was here a couple weeks back, we went to the Mexican place. You know the place, Jared?
Yeah, the one we went to?
Yeah.
Si, senor.
It's a good place.
Fine place.
Ron had him a nice plate of fajitas. They came out so sizzling hot, they fogged up my glasses.
Oh, man. As you know, before I got on the live stream, I was marinating some fajitas.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Mm-hmm.
I heard you say, well, I knew you were marinating. I didn't know what, though.
Fajitas. I'm going to make some fajitas tomorrow for lunch, so I'm getting them in the marinade for overnight.
But you know that guy did not bring out a second bowl of chips.
Son of a...
And I wanted to ask, but I was like, you know what? Maybe he's doing me a favor.
Yeah, he's looking out for you. He's like talking to the staff, whispering. He's like, "Soy John Beatty. No fritas, por favor."
That guy quit coming here when he quit the carbs. No more chips.
No más fritas. Or es gordito.
And I think what Ron and I both liked about the salsa was, I think the same. Well, you ordered the queso, Jared. You went like,
senor, I like a good queso.
And it was some good queso. But what Ron and I liked about their salsa is just enough kick. If you remember it or not. Fresh. I think they do make it on premises there. If that's canned, I would be surprised.
I went out for Mexican last night. And
you're having it tonight.
No, the fajitas are for tomorrow.
Oh.
They're marinating today. The salsa at the place I had last night was really good. It was very unique. Had a little bit of like a tangy taste to it. I was like, that's fairly unique, and I liked it.
Are you done yet?
No.
I just had to do that. I was being your son.
I know. He'll be here in a second. He'll be checking up on the both of us.
Now, does he do that regular when you're in there working? Does he come in and say, "Are you?"
No, he only does it during the live streams to be a pain.
You know what? I can be at home doing nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob will be on his computer or playing a game or whatever. As soon as I get on the phone or get a phone call or something, he's got like 50 questions to ask me.
That's kids, man.
It's so funny. Well, let's see. I believe that yeah, AG, I'm kind of with you, but you're right. I'm gonna let's see. Let me go back a little bit here.
Carrot chips.
I'm glad you did like the Mexican place, Ron. Yeah, I agree. Zablo is the one who actually, like I told you, I think I told Jared too the story about Zablo's hate for Mexican food, and then suddenly he finds this place and he's bringing me to it. I got a real kick out of that. So I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it was good. I have never had a bad meal there. I can say that, and I've had a few. I've had a few meals there, not in the past year because of my diet, but last year I probably
Only when I'm in town and I ask you if we can go.
we did go there in April, right?
We did. I did a show there in November. We went, and then when I came back in April, we went again.
But I didn't have the chips, right? I passed on them.
You stayed pretty good, yeah.
I think I didn't touch the chips. I think I was being really strong.
You may have stayed strong. I'm concerned about all gold who doesn't like yellow mustard on a sandwich.
Well, I was going to get to that. I kind of can agree. Now, what I do like though,
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
what I don't mind is just regular yellow ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh, you talking hot dog mustard only?
Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
On a hot dog, all I put is mustard. That's it for me.
I know I'm opening myself up for ridicule here, but I've recently started to do mayonnaise and mustard on the hot dog, and I'm very pleased with it.
That's a good combo. It's kind of like Dijon mustard, right? The mayonnaise and the mustard. It's creamy.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like Dijon. It just doesn't have the real spice that a little Dijon.
I see that little horseradishy flavor. That's what I can't go for that. No can do.
Well, that's more of that Grey Poupon, I think.
I have to go full Hall & Oates on that.
I can't go for that. No.
No can do.
Well, depending on Zablo, I might be live streaming a Cobra this weekend. A Sylvester Stallone Cobra, 9x12.
Oh.
That's the email I was answering. He was inquiring about it. Now, I would like to have him down here because when I do Stallone stuff, it helps to have somebody keep the.
I see I've started a ruckus in the chat.
Yeah, how did
people are
walk of shame?
A hot dog.
Mayo on a dog, sir.
I know.
I have never had a mayo on a dog. I've just had, like I said, for me it's mustard. That's it.
Well, see, we have this little dog hut.
Although, I sorry to interrupt you, but I have had like a chili dog, chili cheese, coleslaw, that type of stuff. But at home, just give me mustard. I'm fine.
No.
Okay. You have the little dog hut.
Dog hut in town, and they do a really good little chili cheese dog thing. And I was like, these are really good. Like, what makes Above and Beyond? The lady was like, we put mayonnaise underneath the hot dog. And I was like, what? Gotta change my life.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will raise you this. And they quit doing it. And I got it at Subway of all places. No, I didn't get it at once. Okay. You know a tuna melt, right?
Sure.
Tuna fish salad, cheese they put it in the oven and melt it all down so it's all gooey and love it, right?
Made a bunch of them in college, yes.
Okay. So you like the sandwich too?
I do.
So do I. I'm at a Subway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about this after the fact. I order my foot-long tuna sub. They asked me, do I want it toasted? And I'm like, yes. And then the person next to the person that asked me said, you can't do that.
What is this? Communist Russia?
No, you know why?
Were they worried about like the health concern?
Yes.
You did have warm tuna?
Because of the mayonnaise and the tuna salad getting hot and getting somebody sick.
You said you signed a waiver?
No, I didn't think about it. It kind of shocked me. They said we are not allowed to toast the tuna subs due to the mayonnaise in them. And I was like, I really didn't care at that point. I was just like, okay, can you toast the bread? They could do that. They just couldn't put it all in and get the cheese all melted down in it and stuff. Now, this was the same Subway that I went back to a month or so later, and they had no problem doing it because that person wasn't there.
Isn't that always the way?
But it struck me afterwards. It may have even been when I was eating it at home. I was like, wait a minute. They have a tuna melt. I get it. I've had it like at multiple places. What gives? So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the story of that.
Well, we answer all the important questions on this live stream.
Try to. All the life questions. You know who, and now this goes way back. And I wish this guy, I don't think he's longer, I don't think he's, well, I know he's not on the radio, and I don't think he's even alive anymore. But and you know what? I'm going to actually do it if I remember. I'm going to search YouTube's archives and see if they have his show. He was part of is it Westwood One? The broadcasting that had like all the talk shows, and they had Bruce Williams. Hi, this is Bruce Williams.
You got me on this one.
You never heard of Bruce Williams?
Sounds vaguely familiar. I believe our editor is back.
Very distinct voice, Bruce Williams.
I did.
But the person I liked even better was Neil Myers. And basically, he was just an advice guy that had no degree in anything except life. He was a recovering alcoholic, and he had like a 2, maybe 3 hour talk show. And people would just call up and want his advice on anything, on life issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great because he would talk to the people. The people would call up like worried and depressed and stuff. And I don't know if anyone out there in the audience has ever heard of Neil Myers or even Bruce Williams. I'm trying to do Bruce Williams, but he's a little more throaty. This is Bruce Williams. But Westwood One, I think, was the name of their like syndicated. You could get all their shows, and that's basically your channel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do it on the weekend. You could only have them on the weekend. If you didn't want to hire like warm bodies to be there, you could just run, 48 hours of Westwood One. That could be your weekend programming. They had it set up really good. And I think he was part of that whole crew. So
I never listened to a lot of radio. And then, as you know, I lived a lot of my formative years in Germany where we had one American radio station.
Auf Wiederstein.
Our favorite thing about it is they had the gall to call it the super station. We're like, it's the only station.
that's why it was super.
They were like, we own this, man.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah.
You can listen to German stuff if you want to.
They're like, we're number one. Right?
Yep. We're number one in all American stations in Germany.
Yeah, but no, Bruce Williams was, good talk show host, and he was kind of similar in that, he was just kind of a talk show advice guy. People would call in, but Neil Myers just had this nice, even tone. And it seemed to me, I was probably in my 20s, and when I would drive somewhere, it seemed like he was on late at night. And even when I worked late at night, I would love listening to him because it was just this, like, when somebody would call in, he would listen to them and he would just give them just real solid advice. I mean, it was nothing too heavy. It was nothing, he didn't seem to get panicky. He was calm for the people when they would call up all in a panic. So yeah, I mean,
well, like you said, that's the beauty of the internet now, is you should be able to find that.
Well, I know the last time I searched for Bruce Williams, I think he might still be alive and he might still have like a podcast, but it's just not the same. And I think a lot of it has to do with it being a kind of a time,
like a time capsule.
Well, just the time that I was in at the time, and
no, I know what you mean.
It was kind of, if I was driving late at night or something, or if I was up late at night, instead of loud music or something, it was just nice to have like that talk show. I don't know. I've always enjoyed talk shows. I don't know. Man. I mean,
I hear you.
I've liked a lot of music and I listened to a lot of music when I worked, but man, you give me a good like 3-hour talk show and that seems to go by pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And I'm thinking the black and white work on this Black Panther is done.
I am very, very close to finishing my piece as well.
I am gonna get sometime, maybe tomorrow or maybe next week or something. I'm gonna get my Dr. Martin dyes out and do like a blue and purple treatment on it.
That sounds super sweet.
Yep. It's going to add some nice, that's why I left room for color. Because I could have went darker on him, like maybe did like a lighting down the middle, but I figured I would top lighting. And I'm trying to think if I'm going to do anything in the background. I don't know. That's one of those things I should decide before I do the color inside. But again, I know what I could do.
I have a suggestion. You give me suggestions. I was going to give you one.
I could do a square and then do like just a little ribbon line inside the square.
Exactly what I was going to say. Now, I was going to say I've done a Black Panther before, and it depends on what you decide to do with his body color. But I did him on a red, white, or a red, green, and black flag. It's very African.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up the flag of Wakanda, it might have changed since the movie came out. With the comics, it was red, white, and green. And it's like 3 bars. So it's super simple, and it looks really cool with him on that African flag.
It looks really Italian too, right?
That's red, white, and green.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
Maybe I messed up. It's red, black, and green for Wakanda. Like I said, it was in the comics. They might have changed that in the movie, so it might be we're looking. But it looked pretty cool. I did one of those little trading cards, and I used the flag as the background, and I was happy with it.
Yeah, but this is bigger, so you gotta remember I gotta lay in big flat areas of color.
I know you don't ever like any of my ideas. It's the rules.
No, if I did anything, it would be like some sort of quick wash vignette around him, but I don't know. I kind of think on the white, once I get the blue and purple in, it's going to be fine. I like it now. I just think I'm going to like it more once I get the color on.
Oh, I agree.
I think the color will really make it pop, Jared.
Is it your radio voice again?
I don't know what it was.
So what's your favorite thing you got for Christmas?
Oh, you know what? Okay, this is great. I'm glad Ron is maybe still in the room for this too, and maybe AG. But people will appreciate, you'll appreciate this. Y'all ready? I got myself one Christmas gift. That's all I needed.
Oh boy.
There it is, right there.
Oh, and you didn't take my advice, and you didn't go to the Goodwill. You went and paid full price for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what? It's not a fire hazard. Well, I guess it is.
This is why you can't be a yard sale artist. I know you stay up at night.
Look at that little tiny one. Look at that.
I know. I have the same one. I paid $3 for at the Christian Mission.
$8.99.
Well, you know, if you want to be a retail priced artist your whole life, then well, I'm glad, because you've been talking about getting one for a while.
Well, thank you, Ron. Thanks for thinking about me. I actually, when I was coming down here on the 26th, I knew I wasn't going to be streaming, but I said, you know what? I was coming down a little bit later than normal, and I said, I could go into that CVS pharmacy right there on the corner and get me a cheap hair dryer if they got one. And there it was, on sale. So
well, since it's on sale, I'll give you some credit.
Well, you know, I've needed one because sometimes in the morning my little drawings get too wet and I got to like kind of just chit chat while they're drying.
Plus, you've got a great head of hair.
Well, yeah, but I have product and stuff at home for that. So that was my Christmas gift.
It's pretty sweet, man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah. See, I got a marker cap in my mouth.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're doing Edward G, see?
See?
Man, I got a marker cap in my mouth.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had something else in there, like a dog. Like a wiener.
I knew we were going there.
With mustard and mayonnaise. Heavy on the mayo.
Now you can get Ron all upset again.
You know, the reference I was looking at for his, I'm looking at on my monitor this Black Panther. They had like above his lip. See, I did do the split line. They had like a black color in there, kind of like his muzzle, like a snout type thing. I'm really tempted to put it in, but I don't know.
One of those danger decisions. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking just let color go in there because it just looks kind of too open there, you know.
Where's it at? Point at for me.
Right above his mouth. It was like a muzzle, you know, just like a real cat muzzle. I know it was weird. Believe me, I kept looking at it going, well, you know what? Had the picture not been in high def and everything, I bet you don't really notice it. But I'm looking at the photo ref and I'm like, wow. And I don't even know if that's the one they went with because this was like all different, you know, variations of the suit. And I saw it and I was like, well, I kind of like the center part of from the nose going into the lip because it's kind of there anyway.
Right.
And then they had the muzzle thing, like two kind of little triangles going out. And I was like, I don't know about that part. And you know what? While you still got a little work on that, Jared?
I'm almost done.
Okay. Because what I was going to do is I was just going to like take my handy dandy pencil here and kind of,
see.
well, just show you, you know, it was like this type of deal. But the thing is, it could also look like a weird, well, actually, that don't look bad. I was going to say it could also look like a weird top lip, but hold on a minute.
It doesn't look bad.
It doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. In fact, it really kind of, I'm playing with the shape a bit to get it. It doesn't look bad at all.
Said John Beatty.
Can you see that in pencil?
I
gotta put my glasses on. I gotta put my glasses on and see. Let's see. I gotta sing something so it'll.
Oh, I'm screwing you up.
Yeah, you're screwing me up.
I'm screwing you up.
Man, you know.
Man, oh man.
Especially when I extend it a little bit higher. You know?
Yeah?
Anybody out there in Chatland have comments?
What do you think of that stash?
Well, see, don't do that because it's almost like if you look at the white area of, and the black, it'll be blue, but if you look at the negative area, but if you say a stash, then I'm going to see a stash. See, I was afraid I'd see a lip.
I was just being silly.
I know. But sometimes and let me see if I throw it up a little higher. Even that kind of works. I don't want to lose this shadow under his nose, though. Boy, I'll tell you. I know it's hard to see. Dr. Kaz, how you doing? Thank you.
Dr. Kaz say.
He says, howdy, Jared. What'd I miss? Cool Black Panther.
What up, Dr. Kaz?
That's tempting me.
What's tempting you?
This. To put that in. Now I'm going to erase it out.
He's being tempted, folks.
He's
being tempted.
I really didn't mind it, to tell the truth. I know, Ron. I didn't mind it, but I'm right there with you. What about if I heavied this line up a little bit too? Who was it was Wildcat at DC. That's who it's kind of reminding me of. They did.
Yeah, I could see that.
They did a muzzle on him, right?
They did.
You know what? If I bring that in, well, bring this, connect it. It kind of makes a good shape on the mask.
Life is hard and full of decisions.
It sure is. This art business is cruel.
It's not for everybody.
No, it's very, very cruel. And you know, the pencil looks interesting, but it's the harsh black that's really gonna, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's either gonna sell it or not.
And the worst part about it is,
Yeah.
I know you.
Well, you know what? I can always scan it and do it on a photocopy.
I was just going to say that. I was like, I know you, so you should scan it. Try it out.
No, Jared, you should have said you should just do it, because if I don't like it, I would have maybe, you know.
Ah, yes. I hosed myself there, didn't I?
I would have just gave this to Ron next time he comes to town.
Uh-huh. I see now Ron is my rival.
Ron's close by.
Ron. That Ron.
I am gonna have to, you know, I wish I had my photocopy machine. It's such a pain to, and well, the photocopy, if you know, I can't fit this through on my scanner to do a photocopy of it. I don't think. Although it is an 11x17, but I'd have to do, like, well, I could do it. All I need is the face.
Mm-hmm.
Ron says, I have so much art now, J. Ron.
Is this collection rivaling even mine at this point?
Oh, it blows yours out of the water.
Dang. And to think, that guy won a Grinch drawing that I did.
Did you send that to him, by the way?
Yeah. Ron, you got
okay.
your Grinch drawing? You should have it by now, I would think, because I sent it before Christmas.
It's on eBay as we speak.
Yeah, probably get about $9, and that's for shipping.
So everybody should have their art today, if not tomorrow. Dr. Kaz, you should have your art, because you're close by. Anybody else that had something coming from me, it should, I would think, by tomorrow be there. Boy, that muzzle thing kind of looks right.
Got you thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I'd like to just do it. And
well, you know what Jared would do?
No.
Jared would do it and never look back. But, you know.
Yeah, but
Jared lives by his own rules, so.
Jared also is trying to ink 4 books a month.
Jared's made some bad decisions.
Well, see, Dr. Kaz, that's what we were thinking. Is at first I thought it might make a weird looking lip, upper lip type thing. And then Jared said a stash, but it's more of the hat muzzle thing. Probably the next time you see it, when it's being watercolored in blue and purple, I guess it'll have it on there, because I'm leaning towards doing it. But just not until I test it out on a scan and then print out. That's the smart way.
It is.
Well,
I think I about got it on this cloak and dagger.
You know, it needs a circle behind it. Doesn't it?
Well, I did the little. She's throwing the little light dagger.
Is that a circle?
You know, it's a
Semi-
light dagger.
It's a semicircle.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I can see it now. We need a laugh track so that. Yeah, see, Ron said semicircle, not a circle. It's not your trademark plate circle.
They don't. Last time I used a square. Yeah, that square might actually play pretty well over on like this side, like that. Then John's gonna be like, color in the square.
Well, you'd have to. In fact, let me see what you're covering up.
There you go.
I was gonna say the square could be black, but
I think Cloak makes his own background nicely. I think I'm leaving it.
yeah, I think it's fine.
So there you have it. A Bruce Timm
Here.
style dagger.
I'm gonna put.
I like that circle.
How about my circle?
I dig that circle. I think what you need is this 10-cent yard sale plate right here will be perfect. It would look cool. I mean, let's not lie. It's not. Nobody make fun of the power of the circle.
I will say, people, that we might be getting a Sylvester Stallone stream this weekend. I will need to talk to Mr. Zablo tonight. He already sent me the reference that I can use to get the drawing done tomorrow, and if I get it done early enough and he gets here, I could at least get the inking part done and maybe the tones on Sunday. Maybe he's up for. Well, his father-in-law has not a really. I know exactly what you're talking about, Ron, and I was thinking about that. And I have not ruled that out either, to tell the truth. I have not. Especially with that nice yellow gold Dr. Martens I got. That could be some intense I don't know. I almost feel that the white around it is going to hold it. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but I will only know probably when I put the color in. I'm going to give it a wash of blue first, let that dry, or dry it.
There we go.
Although the thing is, on something this big, I might want to let it really dry. The smaller ones will dry quicker. This I might want to let dry, overnight or something to make sure it's really dry and the paper's not warm. We'll see.
I heard that Joe Kubert liked it at like 90 degrees.
You all heard wrong. You misinterpreted.
Yeah, we did.
But anyway, so there may be a Stallone stream tomorrow.
Do me a favor, John.
Yeah.
Is Craig going to be there?
Oh, if I'm doing it, he should. Well, unless he has to be at the hospital with his wife and father-in-law and mother-in-law.
Okay, well, if he's there, when you go to use that hair dryer, go, gonna dry now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say call you and you would join us. You would join us.
Oh, I've got some friends from out of town coming for spend the weekend for New Year's, so I'm sure I'll be otherwise engaged.
I hear you. All right, so I'm going to close this show up.
Good. I think I'm about done with this.
Yep. The more we're here, the more you're just going to keep noodling it.
That's right. More lines. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Hashtag more lines.
Hashtag more lines. The yard sale artist.bigcartel.com if you need to have this piece.
So I appreciate everybody coming out and watching. And if you liked what you saw, how about giving us a thumbs up?
Mm-hmm.
If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Ring the bell for notifications. And don't forget, if you want to leave a comment, please do in the comment section below that will appear after this is over.
If you want more Jared and less John on the John live streams, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Well, I will probably at least be putting the color on this, and it probably, because the more I saw that muzzle, the more it began to
Row on you?
Yeah, it did. It really kind of fills that white area that's bugging me. I think there needs to be more black on his face.
It's a good looking piece, man. You should be proud of that.
Well, it's like I said, I still just think that there needs to be more shadows in that area. And that muzzle thing kind of worked more than I thought it would. When I put it in, I thought I'd hate it, and boy, did it surprise me.
I like the work you did around the necklace. Those little teeth look good.
Yeah, those are fine. Those will just be left white, and then I'll probably hit them with a little paint to give them a little bling. Maybe we'll see. Don't want to get ahead of myself.
One thing at a time.
That's right. But okay, so I will go home. It's about that time anyway. I've put in my 12 hours and did a flyer this morning for the Daytona Beach Comic Con. That was my work this morning, is figuring out that. They're so simple, but you know, you play around with the type and you play around with positioning, and I'll tell you, I complicate everything. Not really. I just like good design. Simple, clean, good design. And sometimes that takes a little bit of extra noggin. So, thank you, everybody. Dr. Kaz, thank you. We'll see you soon. Y'all keep your ears out for a alert for a stream this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday sometime. I will notify you all if it's coming. And until then, this is John Beatty saying goodbye, and Jared
Albrecht, the yard sale artist, also saying goodbye.
See y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.